Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. So in today's video, I just wanted to kind of chat about eyeshadow. I have tried quite a lot of eyeshadow palettes so far. We are halfway through the year. I feel like I've already tried probably about 50 if I had to guess, but I wanted to kind of chat and reminisce about palettes that have come out so far this year that I didn't end up buying for one reason or another. Now, this is not every eyeshadow palette that's released that I didn't buy, of course not. We would be here all day. These are just the ones that stood out to me, ones that I was potentially thinking about buying, ones that I almost pulled the trigger on, but didn't end up doing it for one reason or another. And I wanted to chat about why, maybe get your opinions on these. Are they like a must-have? Is it something that I just genuinely talked myself out of and I just do not need for any reason anymore? Was there something else I already had that was similar? The list goes on and on. I just wanted to sit down, hang out, have a little chat and hang out with you. As fun as it is to try all the new makeup, sometimes it's fun to just chat about makeup from afar. We don't have to own everything. We can appreciate things from a distance or sometimes not appreciate things from a distance. We don't have to own everything to still have a conversation about it, you know? Before we hop into the video itself, I did of course film this look. It should already be up on my Instagram and YouTube shorts by the time this video goes up. And as far as my accessories today go, I just have these earrings. They used to be plugs from Hear No Evil Jewelry, but I turned them into earrings and that's all I got for you. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop in and chat about these palettes that didn't quite make it into my collection. We go to Instagram. I always have a little saved folder accumulating until I feel ready to talk about them. And now that we're at kind of the halfway point of the year, I think it's time to talk about them. Let's see, I have 10 things here. And some are things that I'm still thinking about. Some are things that I just truly let go of. I have no intention on getting them. But either way, I want to hear your thoughts. Did you pick these up? Are you still thinking about it as well? Is it something you really think I need in my collection? Let me know. It doesn't necessarily mean I'll buy it, but you can make your case. You can try to help convince me, especially if it's one that I'm already considering. And these are in no particular order. Some of these got mixed up as well. Some of these might have come out earlier than others. We're just gonna chat about them. Let me actually do a little scoot so I can put some pictures on the screen. So first we have the Space Chemistry palette from Terra Moons. Now, I think they've released palettes here and there over the years. I'm mostly familiar with their singles. I have a small handful of them in my collection and I really enjoy them. There are some stunning singles from that brand, like some of my top favorites. And when they were teasing this palette, I was super excited because they were teasing really cool colors, really cool shifty shades. I was already sensing the spacey theme from their teasers. But then when it got revealed, they described it as kind of a take on a shiny cosmic neutrals palette with a twist. And this just wasn't really what I was hoping for, especially because the only mattes, I believe, yeah, the only mattes are those two like brownish shades, which they did later come out and say that you could exchange those two like brown mattes for any two mattes in their collection, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's still the case, but by the time they made that announcement, I'd kind of already like given up on the idea. I just wasn't as interested anymore. I don't know. There was just something about it that wasn't quite for me, and that's okay. It wasn't something I had to have. It wasn't meant for me. I'm sure this is like somebody's perfect palette, you know what I mean? Like maybe someone who's a little more scared of color. You just want to dip your toes in, but you still want special shades. This would be great for that. There are a couple splashes of color, but overall, this one just ended up not being for me, and I'm okay with that. Next is the Beauty Bay brand. They were releasing the Reckless Romance palette. This was before Valentine's Day, obviously, and one thing about me, as much as I love like spooky season and Halloween, I also love Valentine's Day. I think it's so cute. I love the hearts. I love the red and pink and purple. It is just adorable. So I get so tempted by Valentine's releases, and this one almost got me because I have a few Beauty Bay palettes and I really enjoy the quality of them, and I haven't bought any in a couple years. I don't know. It's like their last multiple palettes just have not screamed to me enough, which is a shame because their palettes are typically on the more affordable side, but I don't know, there's just something that holds me back. And I don't remember exactly what held me back on this one. I have no clue if this launch is even still available now that Valentine's has come and gone. It was probably limited edition if I had to guess. Maybe it was just, I don't know what it was. I think maybe this just reminded me a bit of my Glamlite and Chucky palette, which I already like have and love. And they're not the exact same. Like you could probably have both and be very happy. I'm sure I still would have been happy, but I just felt like maybe between that, I have some moody things from like Give Me Glow. I have the what's it called from Beaute Bar, the Smoky Glam. I felt like I probably had these vibes. I felt like I probably had these shades, and I could probably say that with most palettes, but sometimes my logical side comes out more than others, and I just ended up talking myself out of it. As beautiful as I thought it was, I loved the theming. It just wasn't exactly what I needed. Also, I know the Dead Roses palette from Beaute Bar, I believe, was already getting teased at that time. I was already so excited and obsessing over that one, so ultimately just decided didn't need this one. And honestly, I'm okay with it because when I pulled up this folder in preparation for this video, I did not remember this palette. So the fact that it wasn't memorable probably says a lot. Oof, this one almost got me. And I'm still thinking about this one. This one is tempting. So this is the Adept Cosmetics Flying Fiddles palette. And again, I don't know if this is still available. I could say that for most things in this video, but this is truly just so beautiful. I love how it's dark and moody. We only have 4 mattes, the rest are shimmers, but the shimmers are where Adept shines. I have 2 of their palettes now. At the time, I only had 1, and this is just so good. I love how rich and grungy and just yummy this is. I'm trying to place why I talked myself out of it. Adept's palettes are a little on the pricey side. Thankfully, there are affiliate codes you can use to like save money and stuff like that, but I don't know. I know I was traveling during this time. Maybe I just decided to put my money toward other things, but this one I do still think about. The shimmers are gorgeous. They are really, really, really pretty. This next one is another Valentine's launch that I was very tempted by, and I definitely didn't need it, so it's fine. But it's the ColourPop Lost in Love. And again, the palette as a whole, like I have reds, I have pinks. There's even like a beige in here that I don't care about, but I just loved the theme, and I almost got sucked in just because I love the Valentine's theme. It's so cutesy, all the hearts everywhere. This is an adorable collection. The collection as a whole is just so freaking cute, but ultimately talked myself out of it. There were other launches happening, other things going on in my life. Didn't need this one. Again, it's a ColourPop palette, so it's fairly affordable, but ultimately it wasn't something that I was like, this is gonna fill a hole in my collection. Like this is gonna add so much newness, because really it wasn't. I have these vibes. I have other Valentine's-y palettes. This one was not a need, but it was cute and it did stick out to me. One thing about me is I love a theme. I love a holiday celebration. Like whenever Halloween, Valentine's Day, holidays come around, it's just such a fun time. And honestly, those are the top 3 holidays I care about. Please just give me Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day. That time of year from like August, because I celebrate Halloween early, through like the end of February, that's my happy time. Everywhere else, I'm miserable. Next, I have this one from Clarity Cosmetics. Now, this is a brand that I just still have not gotten around to trying. I don't know what it is. I feel like there's things that stick out to me and then I just don't like take the plunge and try it out. I've heard so many hit or miss things about the brand as a whole, as far as the quality goes, so I don't know. I just haven't jumped on it yet, but this one did stick out to me. I think this is really, really pretty. It's called Euphoria. It's just gorgeous. I love kind of the combination of the blues with the like teals with the like raspberry pinky colors. I think this is really aesthetically pleasing, and I really like the setup of this palette. I feel like in the past they were doing the like bigger pans sort of style. I like this a lot more. It's a little bit more condensed, smaller pans. At least I think they're smaller. Maybe I'm being misled by this picture. Maybe they're giant pans, but it looks like more of a regular sized palette, which I do appreciate. But I don't know. Sometimes it's hard when it's like an eyeshadow brand I've never tried before, because like, what if I hate it? I get so nervous. Like I don't want to spend my money and then not like it. So I don't know. I'm sure I will try them at some point, because I do, like I said, I hear hit or miss things, but the people that love them dearly. So I don't know. Maybe at some point I will. The shimmers in this palette looked really pretty when I was looking at swatches and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if this is the one I'll try from them, but I do want to try something at some point. Maybe at some point I just need to place an order and buy like a couple different things. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me know if you have any favorites from the brand. Maybe by the end of this year, I will try something. Moving on, Glamlite came out with the Kiss collection. This palette is so cool. I grew up listening to Kiss. My dad was a huge fan. I've always appreciated like the theatrics of it all. And this palette is so cool. Again, broken record, I love grungy colors, and this is full of them. It's full of rich jewel tones, grungy shades. I love that line of dingy greens. This is so pretty, and I was so tempted. But then when launch day came around, I was kind of like, I don't know how badly I need it. I was actually talking to Linda from Glitter Fallout. She ended up ordering it on launch day, and I was like, I'm just gonna give it a couple days and kind of think about it. And she got her package very quick. And I think ultimately she's happy that she bought the collection, but she wasn't as overly impressed. And I heard from a couple other people that the quality just wasn't like as top tier as some of their other palettes. It seems like their palettes have a lot of inconsistencies. I've only tried a small handful of Glamlite palettes, and now that I have more information and this just didn't seem to be as like top quality as some of the other things they have, I'm glad I skipped out on it. I'm not so obsessed with Kiss that I needed it just for the theme. I mostly just liked the theme in combination with the color story, but ultimately, I'm kind of glad I passed on it. I don't think this was a major need. And listen, if you have this palette and you think it's amazing quality, I'm not trying to like downplay you at all. Like, you are totally allowed to think that it's amazing. I've just heard that it maybe didn't match up to like other palettes from them. And I've already experienced that. Like, I personally didn't think the Scooby-Doo palettes were top tier quality. Like, I've tried better from them in other palettes. So I just have a feeling from what I know that maybe this one wouldn't have made me as happy, so I'm glad I ended up passing on it. Oh my gosh, going back to Adept, if I could pick one palette in this whole video that I'm like kind of dreaming about, it's this one. This is the Cyborg Choir. This is so cool. They have 5 mattes this time, which is more than they usually do. They only usually have like 3 or 4, sometimes even 2. I like that there's a good range in here with the mattes. Like, we have like that rich burgundy, the dark navy, we have that purple, the bright yellow. It is so fun, and these shimmers look enchanting. I'm really thinking about this one. Like I said, out of all the palettes I'm going to talk about today, this one's probably top of my list. I'm very tempted. I wonder if it's in stock right now. Not that I'm going to impulsively buy this on camera. I'm just curious. I don't know if this was limited edition. I don't know anything. Amy Loves Makeup palette is still there. Highly recommend. Ooh, the Flying Fiddles is on here. And the Cyborg Choir. I could cry like looking at all these palettes. Like, these are just beautiful. Like, a tear could be shed right now. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Ooh, before shipping, I don't know if they do free shipping or not, but with the code Amy Loves, I could get the Cyborg Choir and the Flying Fiddles for $128, which is not an amount that I want to just drop. But I'm really thinking about it. Guys, what do I do? Do I get these? Do I not? I'm gonna leave this tab. I'm not gonna impulsively shop in this video. Betty Jean, calm down. All that to say is I'm very excited about this palette. It is really pretty, and I'm extremely tempted if you can't tell. Ooh, this is one that I was certain I was gonna buy. Like, I was positively certain that I was gonna get this. This is the Moonroom palette from Lunar Beauty. Like, there was not a question of a doubt. When this got revealed, when the themes got revealed, everything, I was going to buy it. I love this color story. I love this swampy goodness. I saw a lot of people comparing it to the Raw Beauty Kristi collab with ColourPop, and like, it's similar in the sense that it's like a grungy garden mushroomy kind of vibe, but I feel like the color stories are very different in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that because this isn't a comparison video. There's lots of videos of that already. I personally feel like they have their differences though. I ended up not getting this one just because when it launched was right before I was leaving on a trip. Like, it was not going to get delivered until like after I'd gotten back, and I knew when I got back I was gonna have other things that I wanted to film with, and it ended up just not being a good time. Right palette, wrong time. And this is one I could potentially see myself getting in the future. Like, maybe when Black Friday rolls around, if he's having a good sale on his site and this palette is a part of that sale, I could see myself maybe picking this up because I do think it's really pretty. I love a grungy garden kind of vibe. I think this is super cool, but like I said, right palette, wrong time. It just wasn't my perfect moment to buy this palette. Let's talk about another Clarity Cosmetics palette actually. This is the Forbidden Love palette. This is also really pretty. I feel like this one doesn't call to me as much as that Euphoria palette, but I do still really like this. I like that deep moody blues, the pop of like pink, pale blue, lavender. The shimmers look really gorgeous. I'm into the vibe. I think it's pretty, and I also think this would play well with that Euphoria palette, but ultimately, this was just one that I saw, I took note of. I was like, oh, that's cute. I like this. I saved it to this folder, but I'll be honest, this one also like wasn't super memorable because I kind of forgot about it until I was reviewing things for this video. But I do still think it's cute. It caught my attention, but this just wasn't one that I ended up needing. And let's finish it off with a Glamlite palette, another Glamlite palette. Glamlite has launched so many palettes, and honestly, a lot of the time they don't catch my attention just because they launch so many things. But every once in a while they launch one that I'm like, okay, that's fun. This was the Fresh Prince collaboration. They just recently launched this one. And I think it's really, really fun. Now, I feel like there are similar vibes to this one to the Rick and Morty palette, which launched last year, which I didn't end up buying. But there are similar vibes in here. Like we have the bright pops of color, the like neon-y moments, the greens, blues, pinks, that kind of thing. I don't know if Rick and Morty has pinks, but there are the bright greens and blues. Not to say they're exact dupes of each other. I just took note of that in the sense of I didn't buy the Rick and Morty palette, so maybe I could get this one. I don't know. It's only $24, so it's really affordable, but it was just one of those things. I have so many things I'm playing with right now, and this one just didn't like scream to my soul, even though I do think it's pretty. I love the Fresh Prince theme. I was just watching it in my salon studio with one of my clients a week ago, so I think it's super fun and I think it's cool, but ultimately I was just like, I think that's fun, but I could admire it from afar. Moral of the story is I'm just so tempted by those Adept palettes, so who knows what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna think on it for at least a couple more days. I'm not gonna impulsively buy anything right now. And that, my friends, rounds it up for these 10 palettes that I almost bought this year, almost bought today even, but didn't end up buying for one reason or another. Again, some of these I might end up purchasing at some point, but these could all end up being ones that I just admire from afar and don't need to have in my personal possession. But I would love to hear your thoughts. What are you thinking? Have you tried any of these? Do you want any of these for yourself? What are some palettes that have come out so far this year that have caught your attention but you haven't bought for one reason or another? And not like in an anti-Holly kind of sense where it's like, that is horrendous and hideous, I don't want it, but things that you genuinely thought about getting but passed on for whatever reason. And again, just to reiterate, we do not need to own everything. I obviously have a lot of makeup, but it is part of my job to like review and test things out for you. I'm not the average everyday human being who is just playing with makeup for the fun of it. Don't feel the need to own every single launch. That's just not realistic. Just figure out what means the most to you, what things fill holes in your collection, what formulas you vibe with the most, that kind of thing. And that's what I'm here for, to help test things out and make that decision with you. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave like a creature emoji, like a little alien or a ghost or the little ogre, like one of the little creature emojis. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm BATTYBEAN there as well. And if you want it, you can subscribe. I'm posting most days over here, and you can also join my channel memberships. The link to sign up will be down below. You'll get fun little perks, including a members only video once a month. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.